You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 370 of East Central Indiana's favorite podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrill. I'm joined by a bunch of people that are calling me old. Zach Burcham, the executive video producer, audio engineer. He's older than me. Mark Fultz, he's our resident tattoo artist and tipping fatigue expert. Yeah, I love the eye roll. That's excellent. And Adam Bones Harcourt, bourbon connoisseur, and I think for the next 10 minutes he likes me. But during Patreon, I wasn't so sure. Today,
I'm not either.
Today we're going to talk to Mark. Got a little evergreen topic in tipping that I wanted to get into today. Okay. And then I joined Blue Sky. I don't know if you guys have yet or not. Wanted to hear about that. There's this story out of Georgia that made me stop and rethink in my brain as to what in the world this place has turned into. The sun went down at 4:15 today, and then there was some sports news that dominated the landscape over the weekend. Wanted to get into that. This show is about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we're provoking, other times they make you laugh, but hopefully you'll always learn something new. We just did, 15 minutes on Patreon talking about the weird random reasons people start collecting things. Does that sound about right, Bones?
Yes.
It's compulsory. You just have to buy. You have to collect them all.
You got to find one thing that you like to collect and then get into it.
Yes.
You have to have one thing, though. Can't be several and it can't be nothing. You have to have one thing.
And your one thing?
Bourbon.
Okay. You drink your collection.
Yes, I do.
It's like there's a hole in your bucket.
It's like, so what do you collect? The bottles? Like, I don't.
Things for dust to go on to. Bones, Mark Fultz, do you collect anything?
Kind of. Skateboards, rare skateboards. But I kind of stopped doing that. A lot of people do records. I've got a few records that I'm like, it's kind of a joke between the guy I tattoo with, because like he's really trying to push me to get into like records, and I just won't welcome that into my life because I know I'll go overboard and I'll want to like, well, I'm gonna have to have this because of this reason. This album's rare. Like it'll spiral if I actually like get a real physical record player. I just won't do it. But all the rare skateboards I collected just sitting in my garage.
Yeah,
they're not even hanging up. Not since the move.
I have some random merchandise, like motorsports merchandise things, but they're not anything that I think that none of it's collectible to the outside world that would be like, oh, I've got to have that.
Right.
It's all stuff that I think is kind of cool, but it's not. It's junk.
Like
mostly
garage attire.
Pieces of race cars, spring off a race car.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Palou shoes. I got that for my 40th birthday. That's probably the most cool thing I have was Alex's winning shoes from Road America.
Are they?
Yeah, they're signed and autographed. They're legit.
That's cool.
They're under glass.
So that's a question.
I've never sniffed them, but if you want to come over, I'll let you try them.
Okay.
We'll let Mark try some rum, and you can sniff the shoes and see how they turn out.
Game on.
Any weird collections, Zach?
No, I have random IndyCar stuff too. I have a pair of shoes in my Alex Flows. I have a pair of Jack Harvey shoes. I've won those. I have a visor. I have some IndyCar parts. I have a rear wing end plate, a front wing end plate. I have a front wing element that you can adjust. It's even got little screws to adjust it. I've got a wheel. Got some other stuff. I have a random. I've got a random assortment of Star Wars stuff now.
Zach collects vehicles. He just doesn't realize.
Also, yeah,
he's never gotten rid of a car.
I collect peak truck vehicles. I have a 92 Dodge, a 03 Ford diesel, and a 05 Chevy SUV. So yeah,
and not the home to have a vehicle collection at all.
no,
You are the world's worst candidate for a car collection, but you're Zach Hoovy.
they're all outside except for the truck, and it looks like it's been outside if you open the
It's
garage.
just the start of Zach's auto sales that were never.
I
open.
don't sell anything. That's the problem, though. Is
He's
I've only-
emotionally too attached.
I've only gotten rid of one car my entire life.
The man's identity is literally in his first vehicle. How
It's
many
in
cars?
the-
Your username.
What?
Your username.
Yeah.
Is
If-
from that truck.
Yeah. So if you on Twitter or anything or Instagram, it's I'm 92 Dakota HD. So it's the year of the truck. I stuck with it. It's like I've also had the same phone number since I've had the truck too.
My
So, like,
sister
why
was
change?
SkyShooter11 at yahoo.com, but once she got married, she turned professional and started using Hannah.
I've got other email account. Oh, I've got a school email account for coaching, whatever. Yeah, I don't care.
And 2 Dakota HD. Come on.
I got it. It's
him.
It's still in the yard.
it's in the garage.
It's on blocks,
It lives-
everybody.
It lives in the garage.
Zach and I have been very good friends for more than 5 years. This is where I plan on this going, but I've never seen Zach operate the vehicle or seen it run. But
It runs.
promises
It's super
me-
fun because
he promises me we're going for a ride someday.
it's the current problem is one, I keep getting other things like campers and stuff, whatever. But like the last time I got out, the doors, the hinges, the welds around the doors are broken, so the doors like sag. And so like I drove it to work a couple of years ago, and I was on the ramp to get on 70, and the driver's side door does not latch, so the driver's side door started to open like with me in a right hand
Not
turn.
getting on 70 with that
So
thing.
that's why it
dude.
just doesn't get out. It's when I do
Or
get out,
period.
it's hilarious to drive. It's super
I
fun.
need to take it to Newcastle Cruise in.
I probably could.
Just take the doors off and make it like a.
It's like I'm not
Jeep-
I'm
be a
not
Jeep
that
guy.
redneck.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy you 75 ducks to stream
Yeah,
across
that's why I need to keep
across the front
myself
of it.
safe as the rubber ducks.
I don't know if you'll be a part of the club where we have to wave at you with 2 fingers, but
He's just shedding ducks
You
down
said we. Are
I-70.
you a Jeep driver?
what?
What? Are you a Jeep driver?
We were at one time.
Okay.
She said, "There's a protocol here." I go, "I'm not following this fucking cult."
Man, do I love to
728.
make fun
I
of
should
Jeep
introduce
culture.
you to the Ford Excursion cult,
738.
and it's interesting as well. That's
Like
interesting.
she would yell at me and slap at me if I didn't wave properly at the
The
Jeep.
Jeep people.
Oh,
The
no.
rubber duck thing's gone too far.
I plan on never owning a Jeep. So Mark, you I want to give you a plug here at the top. Well, we've got the big audience. Black Sheep Tattoos in Greenfield, Indiana.
Black Sheep Tattoo Society, technically. But yes,
Well, la-ti-da.
It means
there's a lot of black and then tattoo involved. So it's like, we got to be specific here.
Oh,
It's
yes.
really common.
It's very specific.
Yeah.
I gave the town.
Yeah, that's fine.
Are there like 3 other Black Sheeps in town?
No, but there is like 3 other tattoo shops in town, though.
Yes.
2.
Yeah. None as good as you because you're there. If people want to get some art, some good Tom Haverford style art. I need some art. Make me some art, man. They hit you up on Instagram. Buy some flash.
Yep. Flash customs are welcome too. I'd love to hear your ideas. I take messages anywhere. I'm everywhere. I try to be. Besides like Twitter, I just don't mess with that. That's pretty much Facebook and Instagram. And if you have contacts or call the shop, which does happen, but no, we do not do piercings.
Anything else you don't do?
We just don't do piercings. I mean, we get called every day for piercings. We just do not do piercings. There is no piercer on staff.
God, Jesse Riddle here to be like, do piercings, man. They're asking for piercings.
I'm thinking about it. I'm not lying as
Yeah.
much as I get a call, but I am so not interested in that.
Yeah, I got a
I
rusty
don't have
nail.
the stomach for it. Do what?
So I got a rusty nail. You just
Mm.
jam it in.
Oh no.
Buy some bourbon.
Yeah, great. Sounds like a great idea.
Rub it in there. Sanitary. All right. So I wanted to talk to you because this is the running joke Mark and I've had for years now. Is that there's tipping fatigue, right? We go around and post COVID, every damn machine out there has got the hey tip. I think we talked about this on the show. I went to a Colts game last year, went through the self checkout myself on my own, found my own beer at a football game,
Yeah.
got to the machine, and it's like, do you want a tip? And I'm like,
No,
this
I
is
don't.
this is ridiculous. So I reached tipping fatigue last year officially in 2023. I was done. But there are some things that we do need to tip for.
Yeah.
Like when somebody drops your Christmas packages off at the big brown truck,
Correct.
right? What's the normal going rate? Just so our audience knows how
Just
much they're
say
supposed to be
thank you
tipping.
would be nice.
Just a thank you.
Yeah,
I normally just hold my dogs back so they don't attack.
that's fine too. We appreciate that. Dog bites are vicious.
Yeah, when you
So-
pull up to the house and it says beware of dog, you're just like every time.
They
I
actually
do a lot
tell
of
you
driving.
not to deliver to dogs. So if I see the sign, beware of dog, and the dog's outside,
I'm out.
not in one. See ya.
Yep.
Not today. You can come pick it up in Indianapolis.
Yeah. Exactly.
Figure it out. I don't disagree with that.
So tipping, yes, tip your tattoo artist.
Mm-hmm.
That's real. Like that's
Anyone in the
a valid
service industry.
that's a valid one.
Yeah.
So the one of the things people have been saying is that if you order it standing up, you shouldn't tip. Does that feel fair? If you ordered standing up, is that a fair?
No.
That's
I
not
don't
that's
think
not fair
so.
either.
No.
I don't know. Give me a situation where
You
At a
went
bar? Busy bar.
a busy bar, the
So
bartender.
you're standing at a bar. Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
tip. That's a tricky one.
yeah,
'Cause
that's-
do you
that
tip
is a
a dollar
tricky
a
one.
drink or do you tip 20%?
Yeah, I usually. Yeah, I mean,
$1
I'll
drink.
tip when I'm
Dude, this is a
if
guy
I'm
that
up
drinks
at
a
the
lot
bar.
of drinks.
Yeah.
I feel like
That
that's
makes
If
sense.
you get a $2 beer, you get tip $1.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you ordered a $14 cocktail, are you tipping $1?
Probably.
You ordered a $25 pour of LW Harper cask strength.
Well, we've overpaid.
You ordered a $25 pour of Eagle Rare 47 year. Are you tipping $1 on that, or are you
No.
tipping 20%?
We're probably tipping 20%.
All he did was pour it, man. He didn't make a drink. He just poured it in a cup. He measured
I get it.
2 ounces.
But if you went and grabbed it and poured it yourself, you still gonna tip?
Well, listen, you find a bar that lets me pour myself Eagle Rare.
I know, right?
Right.
This is the problem.
That's a different conversation.
I would say the one thing is when you get a drink at a bar, like I would have this much experience with that, the bartender is like, they can very easily just ignore you and make you stand there for a while. So if they're giving you your time and usually prioritizing giving you some attention to give you the drink when they very easily have a lot of distractions, they could just choose to ignore you. So it's not like you're walking up to a counter where the person's literally, their job is to stand there and wait for you. Bartenders are usually kind of busy.
The bartender, I've learned, especially like on a cruise, we do, a cruise or two a year. If you are generous with them, that's your shortcut.
You're
to
also
the front of
paying
the
for
line.
future service.
It's your shortcut to the front of the line, and you become best friends. So you're taking care of them, and you're going to have a relationship for the next week. It's slightly in your interest or very much in your interest to make sure you're
Right.
on the good side. Much like your tattoo artist, because you're developing a lifelong relationship with them, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I gotta say thanks to the patrons. I skipped right over this, Zach.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my gosh.
I had my brain.
Special thanks to John Phillips, Andy Moore, Buick GMC, Fishers, Indiana. Blake Reese at Varsity Outfitters, our guests last week. They just had their big rebranding.
Sorry, Dad.
And Pops Recycle, Paul Morrill, down in beautiful Rushville, Indiana. He's got bikes for sale down there. I spoke with him this morning. He found some new inventory, and it's already updated. So it's much like Bones Bourbon Habit. It's a
bike collector.
It's a never-ending bucket. He's a bike dealer, but I think he's got more coming in than going out. So
Did we find
Do
out
your
if he's still
Christmas
my
shopping
mower
down there.
show? Is my mower guy?
I don't think he is. I think he's too busy with the bikes.
Okay. Thanks for finding out.
Sorry, I hate you had to break to you this way. Is there something wrong with your mower?
No,
Because Bones Mark will probably do it once he starts.
Everything's wrong, fine with the
once-
mower. But
once
when
he
I call in
starts-
there, I would like to know that friendly Paul's
That
voice
Paul's
is
gonna
on
be
the-
there.
Yeah.
Have you thought about Black Sheep mower service and piercings?
No, not at all. Can't say it's across my mind at all.
Think about
Can you
it.
imagine going to get a piercing or a tattoo, and the
It's
guy
a mower
walks in,
shop.
he's been working on a mower, and his hands are
Just
covered in
covered
oil
in
and
grass
grass.
and
And it's just,
Sit still.
You're my 11:30. Hang on, I gotta degrease. Car wash. You go through the automatic car wash, but there's a tip jar, right? Clancy's they rub it down. They'll do the they'll do the chamois thing at the end.
you
Oh,
the
yeah.
hand, the hand dry.
Hand
I see
dry.
people tip them.
But should you? There's a tip
I'll
jar.
tell you when I do see people tip them, I'm like, yeah, that's a good, is like when you're out there and you're washing your car and it's like 22 degrees and they're literally having to get dried off before it freezes. And they're just out there in like dealing with wet towels in the below freezing weather so you can have a clean car. Tipping them, I don't think is outlandish. It's not compulsory. Like you don't have to, but like I bet they appreciate it for staying out there in the cold. Because there's times you go to Clancy's. I don't know what the new car wash to have anything to help with this. Where when you turn on the 3, you almost like have a hard time getting going because the park, like the road is iced over in front of the car wash.
It'll be great when we have total road construction there in about a year.
And a car wash on both sides.
And a car wash on both sides.
Yeah.
So both directions have a car wash coming out. It's just going to be ice slick.
Can you imagine if they shove everybody to the outside lanes and they're just glazed over all the time, especially from 8 to 9 during happy hour for Clancy's. Yeah.
Going to be good times. Just reporting the great news around here. Tour guides. So I did 2 bourbon tastings over the weekend. They had tour guides, and I didn't plan on doing these tours. I'm cashless mostly. Do you need a tip tour guide?
I'm in the ballpark of yes.
Should have.
Yeah,
I didn't see anybody else doing it.
This.
So, but you do a tour. You're with somebody. You're in a group of 10 or 15 people, and they're with you for an hour.
Was it like presentable to see, like if the offer is open? You know what I mean?
Well, see, that's the thing is, it's like there's not a tip jar,
right?
Maybe you could say thanks and hand them some cash on the way through.
Yeah,
that probably could have happened. But they also don't have like a Venmo. Right, because that's the thing is it's like, but then that becomes tacky too, right? You're like when you got the tip jar out or you have the Venmo thing, it's like you're asking
out
for it.
Here.
Yeah,
but yeah, let me pull
tip
out my
jar is
phone
one thing. The Venmo sign is completely.
That's it's different.
We've gone too far.
I go to a restaurant though in Indy that I'm happy that they'd start doing that because
otherwise they're getting screwed.
Because this is a drive up. It's a mug and bun. They do not. They will not allow you to put a tip on a card. So your tip has to be cash or they just don't get a tip. You can't put it on the card when you do a transaction, which I'm very cashless. I very rarely have cash on me.
That makes it complicated though to do.
You guys are such millennials. Who doesn't? Why will no one carry cash?
I like
cash. Is king.
I just
I like
don't.
cash.
And so, but when if you pay with a card and they give you the envelope thing that that has your card in to sign the receipt, they have their Venmo and their PayPal or whatever in there, and so then I can tip them. I will tip them using that because, I try to remember to have cash when I go there, but sometimes we just find ourselves on the west side downtown. We're like, yeah, we'll go to Mug and Bun. And I just like, oh man, I don't want to go to an ATM.
Well, there's the other transaction. You go to the ATM and you're getting 20s.
20s, or they'll charge you, depending on how bad the ATM is, they'll charge you a couple bucks to get $5 out for a tip. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll just PayPal them or Venmo them. So I don't mind.
But the transaction's already happening, right, through their point of sale. So now is this how I'm understanding it? They're asking, like on the receipt, it'll say, hey, my PayPal or
no,
hey, my
it's
Venmo.
not. They don't actually put on the receipt.
Like you're going to expect me to go that extra mile to do all that, or can I just like pay and be done?
You can pay and be done. It's like that when you pay with a card at a restaurant, they have that
folder.
Like vinyl little folder thing. They put it in there. So like when you get the card back, if you want to, you can do it, or you can just sign the receipt and give it back to them and not tip them at all. Or you put cash in there if you want to.
It just sucks because that's creating an extra step for.
Yeah, well, and to me, that's on the owner doesn't want to process those through.
I mean, I'll get because I accept cash and card, so if they'll pay through my Square, but they'll be like, hey, do you get all of this?
Right.
Like, no, everything is taxed, so it's going through Square, and I'm like, cash is great, sure, for this very reason, but they're like, well, I don't have cash, kind of like, Venmo, PayPal, whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, then you're already there,
right?
Like, I feel like that is a little more intimate than like a restaurant because like you're kind of sitting with me for an hour at least or more. So it's like you can spare an extra 2 minutes, I feel like. But if you're at a restaurant, it seems that's when it gets like, to me as a consumer and accepting it seems like, am I really going to go the extra mile to like stop what I'm doing to go to your PayPal or your Venmo?
I bet they get shorted a bunch there.
Yeah, I know.
And I tend to, when I have cash, I tend to over tip there. Because I tend to have the same servers over and over again, so I feel like I balance it out.
Yeah.
On times I might not have any, or don't, or I just have a couple bucks in cash on me. So like one time, and it's not cheap. to eat there really. But like one time I'm able to give them 5, another time I might give them like a $10 or $15 tip because I figure like they
Because you only have a 10 or
they
a
probably
15.
aren't giving that many tips though.
Yeah.
Because it's a weird thing. You roll up there, signs everywhere that says no, like cash tips only, or whatever. So yeah,
It's kind of become one of those things that place is almost known for if you go there.
yeah.
It's kind of a local. Yeah, that's weird. It's also odd that so many places have gone to post-COVID. Nobody wants cash. Nobody wants to carry cash, whatever. And then you go to places that are cash only. It's this weird dynamic if you don't know how to interact with society now.
Yeah, right. I don't mind that as much as a tip. I complain about Pizza Hut already on here, or pizza establishment as well. They want
Pizza Hut wants you to tip when
you
can't-
order.
You have to order. That pisses me off. More than anything.
matter of fact,
The
I
Chinese buffet does the same.
I
damn
went
thing.
in there and
You tip in advance before you get
I
any
no
service.
longer want to eat in that restaurant ever because of the way they handle it. Because they've kind of gone with the same way, and I haven't been back in there, except they're even kind of worse, with the same way that Steak and Shake's gone, which is basically they don't have servers, they have runners. There's no real server job. Yeah, with pizza, you go in, you have to order, you order at the counter, and then it asks you for your tip right then and there, and you haven't had any service.
Has anybody been to Fazoli's lately?
No.
Because that's the same damn thing Fazoli's does, but I don't think they ask for a tip. Moses is looking at me like I'm crazy.
And they have, like, I would tip the breadstick. I don't know if they still do the breadstick runner. That person deserves a tip. The person that brings the joy. When I back in the day used to sit and somebody came around every 5 minutes just handing out free breadsticks. But yeah, I
Shake
still like
Shack did the other same thing to me the other day too.
tipping before I even get any service.
Right.
Is horrible because then they've got it and they can
And then
give me
they
whatever
can
service
do whatever
want.
they want.
Get
Yeah.
their will.
I feel like Steak and Shake I don't know, but I'm like in Anderson, it's gone now, but it was after COVID. And it just, they wouldn't allow people to eat inside. They didn't have servers, like everything COVID, right?
Our local one was kiosks. You ordered at a kiosk and they brought you your food out.
Yeah.
Or
But
called
it's
your
like,
name out.
I feel like it was like self-sabotage at that point. Like, is that how it is here in Newcastle?
Last time I was there was a kiosk, and I think they yelled your name, and you came up to a counter and picked it up. I think the problem
And then I'm going to give
bring
you
it to
$2
you.
to
I think the
give me my
problem though
food.
is that's also that Steak and Shake as a brand, I think, has been on the ropes for like close to a decade. Like,
Yeah.
Can I change the napkins out for you guys too? Is that can I help you out any?
The strange thing was that our local one, what felt very weird with it was because everybody's familiar with Steak and Shake. It's a lot of like 50s diner kind of deal. Well, when you take out the server and the conversation and the movement around, it's a very cold, very quiet atmosphere in there, and it's unsettling. Like, it's not how cold it is. So like it went from being this kind of cool place that was kind of bustling to there's no bustle at all. And I bet it would be comparable to people talking about casinos back in the day with money, and now it's all card. It's like you take out all the noise and it becomes very strange.
Yeah.
Pew Research did a poll, and they found that 92% of sit-down restaurant people wanted to tip there, and they always do or often do. But the fast casual, which is what these have turned into, is down to 12% of people wanting to tip at a fast casual restaurant. So the Steak and Shake, I guess that's what Pizza Hut has become now.
Yeah.
And that's the resistance we're feeling.
Pizza Hut's trash anyway, so
I think so much of it is
You're a Pizza King guy, aren't you?
I am a Pizza King guy.
Pizza King is trash.
very well
I'll
beat.
die on that hill.
No.
Very
No,
well
Pizza
beat.
King is trash.
No.
I'm gonna die on
Listen,
that
we
hill.
are done talking now.
It's fine.
You might be escorted to the state line.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I
Rip
love
take you
it.
to the
I
train
know I'm
station.
surrounded.
No,
I love
honestly, when I moved to Indiana as a 10-year-old little boy from New York State, and I came here and we visited a Pizza King in Muncie, my entire family went, "What the hell is this? This is tomato paste on a cracker." It did not. It's an
Trash.
acquired taste as to what it is, and it's fine. And the veggie feast is probably their best offering. But my complaint with Pizza King is the price. I could have had a steak dinner at Chili's for the price that I paid to go to Pizza King.
It's the full color napkins.
There's a lot going on in that sentence right there. A steak dinner at Chili's.
Unpack that.
I don't know if we have time to unpack that, okay?
It's really a Patreon callback.
Yeah. Pretty good call.
But outside of Pizza King, I will do Papa John's is okay.
Right.
All right, but Pizza
You're supposed to tip. That's the other one. That's another one that pisses me off. Ordered it online. They didn't take my order. I didn't call in an order. Back in the day, you'd call in an order and they'd write it down. order it online.
Pizza King, can I have your phone number, please?
You drive in. You go pick up the damn pizza yourself. It's literally sitting on the shelf behind them, and they turn around, they grab it, they hand it to you. Please tip.
No.
That feels wrong of that part. Like why do you want to tip here? And this is where I've gotten to, is that I think that the credit card processing people, the Squares, the Toast, all of those people, and the credit card companies make money off of the gross revenue of whatever they brought in. So they're going to throw the tip line on, and they're just trying to increase the bill however they can so that they get a higher percentage off of it. And it's up to the consumer to say, yeah, I'm not doing that.
So what about delivery drivers then? Not me personally, but like, because Pizza King still delivers.
Right.
You call Pizza King, they bring it to my house.
If you were having
this is
something
what's
delivered
weird about that.
If
like,
you're
UPS, FedEx, and stuff like that. I don't want to tip that FedEx driver that dropped off my package
that's his
yesterday.
damn
That goes,
job.
like, and it just on my porch. Thanks. Nope.
Yeah, if you're paying for the Grubhub guy or whatever,
Yeah.
or
that.
the pizza delivery person, the Chinese food delivery person, yes, you need to tip.
Yes.
They're providing a service. You didn't want to put your
Or
shoes on
pay
and
them a
leave the
living
house.
wage.
Or see that, yeah.
I know it's good.
Apparently, like Grubhub and stuff, those places, if you don't tip and you have to do that up front, you just won't get your food. Apparently, that's the thing where you have to like.
There's
say
an
how-
anticipated tip given to the driver before
Yeah.
they pick your thing up.
Yeah.
Is here's what we expect this to turn into.
Yeah, I think like
The
you
whole-
can specify this is what I'll tip above and beyond whatever delivery fee is. I've heard like if you don't tip enough, because they'll sometimes the people will be like, I think I've heard in town that like there'll be somebody out by like Springport and like $5, and like somebody's like it's not worth $5 for me to drive into town, pick up your food, drive it to Springport, and then drive back. Like I'm taking a half an hour out of my evening for $5, like not worth it. So I've never done that delivery service.
I did a little bit of time as an Uber driver just for fun, literally just on Saturdays to entertain myself when I was a single man. And at the time there was no tipping involved. That was part of the pleasure. Like the nice part about being Uber was you didn't have to interact with the driver at all. There were no tipping expectations. You didn't tip. It wasn't a thing. And that culture's changed as well, where now I think Lyft kind of added the tipping feature in, and they ask you to rate them and add a tip, and then Uber to keep up, so to keep drivers did it as well. But that's a relatively new phenomenon too. And I always felt like about taxi. I'm like, you set the damn rate. You decided how much you wanted to charge to drive me here. Why do I have to tip you more?
Right.
You set the price, and now I have to decide it's more. But that's like the tattoo guy, right?
I kind of feel like when I've ordered pizza though, when they charge me, depending on how much they charge me for the delivery, sometimes it impacts how much I want to tip. And I tipped a guy, but I'm like, where's the money going? You guys are charging me to deliver this pizza, especially in Newcastle, where the farthest this person is going to drive in town is like 4 miles round trip. It's a small town.
Yeah, they charge a delivery fee, but it doesn't necessarily go to the
It's
driver.
like, sometimes it's like
you don't know
$5 or
what happens to
$6.
it.
Yeah. And then I'm like, and usually I would tip $5 to the server or to the delivery guy. And if I go to a restaurant, like the lowest tip I'll give at a full service restaurant, it's like $5, even if it's like a $10 bill.
What about the bathroom attendant?
I mean, I'll tell you what, I
Dude,
tried
that kinda
not
drives
to
me
find
nuts at a
myself
bar
in a
or a
room with a
club.
bathroom attendant.
The guy handed me the paper towels. I can get this, sir. I can handle this.
That was such a weird experience.
yeah.
for me.
I'm like, I'm
It's
not doing
weird.
it, dude.
I think
I'm
I've
not.
only, first of all, that man just listens to people shit all night.
Uh,
Like that's the worst.
dude.
That's the
and
worst
puke.
job possible.
And puke.
Yes,
Because it's always at a bar. I've only seen that at bars.
I've only seen it one place.
I saw it.
We're
in
not
Chicago.
mentioning names.
I was there with
Somewhere
Dakota.
downtown Indy.
Bones was there with Diamond, or Princess, or Lamborghini, or Mercedes, or Pontiac.
Cinnamon.
how many times do you hear poor
Fiero.
on me in one night?
He and Oldsmobile had a
Every time
lovely
I-
evening.
Every time I've ever walked in a restroom and there's an attendant, I'm like, what? Like, this is a thing?
He's a senior citizen black man as well.
Mm.
Would you like some gum?
Breath mint.
Because everybody's been puking.
Yeah.
No, because I don't carry cash. I am not mentally and emotionally prepared to tip that person.
No.
I'm not there.
Just hope he doesn't see you on the way out.
I'll catch you on the way out, bud.
Yeah, of
I'll
course.
be
you
here
will.
a while.
You're just texting your friends. Bring me $5 now.
Stall 3.
It's an emergency. Oh my gosh. All right. So I signed up for a new system, a new Twitter alternative this week.
True Social, right?
Blue Sky.
Okay.
Blue Sky. Are you guys aware of this one yet?
Yes.
I just heard of it.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, this week.
So yeah, in the last couple of weeks, I've seen a few people pushing it out there. A lot of it's the angry, Elon Musk, whatever. Elon owns Twitter or X or whatever it's supposed to be called. The artist formerly known as Twitter. So people are trying to abandon the platform, and I was like, I'm fine with Twitter. I don't care to go somewhere else, but I felt like I had to defend my name and go claim my name, my username, my 92 Dakota HD.
Yeah. I was
so
jumping on.
yeah,
from
I'll
you right
sign
now.
up.
Zach's
right
gonna have to
quick.
go sign up real quick.
Someone's just
You're gonna-
waiting to sign up for
you're gonna-
Jeremiah's name.
You're gonna have to go get Merker Mark on Blue Sky just in case. And what do you have a username you use regularly?
No.
Just Adam Harcourt,
Yeah.
King
Hardcore
Adam
89
Yeah.
of Rushville.
RCHA.
Mr. Bone.
Boner.
Bone.
I mean, that is
Bones.
Blue Sky Boner. Blue Sky Boner 1.
Underscore.
So here's the thing, is that I'm older than, there's another Jeremiah Morrill in existence who lives in Florida. He's about 10, maybe 15 years younger than me. And he emailed
No
me
shit.
pissed off that I had the name on all of these different
on
platforms.
True Social.
On
Blue-
Gmail,
Okay.
on Facebook, on Twitter, mad at me because I was older and I claimed all these things when it was appropriate time for me to do it. So now I'm essentially in a competition with
Was he paying you for him?
Jeremiah Morrill, the victim of a dog mauling attack in Central Florida back in the day. You can Google him; he's probably more famous than I am because of this horrible thing that happened to him as a young boy.
Was he a UPS driver?
I think he was a student. I think
Poor
he was
kid.
a
That's
young
worse.
kid. So anyway, I
Just
had
get creative.
I had to get onto Blue Sky and claim my. Zach is checked out for the show because he's over there
I'm
signing
signing
up. He's
No.
signing up right
Yeah.
now. There's urgency.
There is.
It's a weird app. It is totally like a.
Jesse's
it-
gonna
it-
sign in and he's gonna take my handle right now. Calling it.
He's gonna try to.
You can
sell
have it,
to you.
dude.
You
I ain't
should have.
getting on it.
You should have. You should have paid.
Yeah.
You should have gotten it. Now it's mine.
That's fine. Take your antibiotics.
It's mine now.
You just throwing him under the bus for no reason.
He called in sick for the show.
No. Why Google your name? You're a candidate.
I had good
Things popped
SEO.
up.
It's amazing I lost that election and the others after it. That's what comes up first. Not this damn podcast that we make every week.
No.
It's still the campaign. Yeah, Boss Hog is the third thing down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's on there. We're there. So you're not worried about it. You don't jump on the fads and sign up for whatever you
Mhm.
got.
Is that dude?
No.
Oh.
I don't know who that guy is.
Looks like a racer.
Let me see him.
Oh, never mind. It's you. It's AI
like a
version
racer.
of you. Never mind. Let's.
It's just a different version of me. Yeah, Bones Google.
This is creepy.
This could only go worse. So you guys aren't worried about it. You don't think this is going to take off. You don't have to have it.
I've never
And
even heard of it.
If you have
but
to have, if
I'm
you have to be a different username, do you try to use the same thing across all platforms, or do you give a damn?
I don't give a damn.
You don't care.
No. What was the difference? What was the thing that Trump signed up for when he got kicked off of Twitter?
So
Was
there was
this
True
kind of the
Social,
same
but there
thing?
was something in between. This Blue Sky was. It looks like Twitter because it was created by the Twitter people. It was like a side project, and then they shelved it, and then it got sold off. There was something that Trump started like I don't know 5-10 years ago, when he supposedly lost the election in 2020, and then it got shut down. Like it was banned for a year, and then it came back. Clay Morgan made us all sign up at one point. Zach may know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've forgotten at this point what was the first Trump social media.
Was it? I thought was it true? It wasn't true. Let's go on. I tried.
There
to
was
block
something
out
else. There was another name for it. Nobody knows. Maybe was it something before Truth Social and then he renamed it? I could be just crazy.
I thought it was named something else.
There was another name. You're correct. There was another name for something, and it was It was a short, hard, like 3-letter name, but I don't remember what it is now. It doesn't matter.
No clue. It doesn't.
Because it's obviously not taking over the world.
No.
But Blue Sky might, because it feels exactly like Twitter. But now it's going to be like, we may end up in silos where it's like, if you want to go talk to the lefties, you go to Blue Sky. And if you want to talk to the conservatives, you go to X. You got Fox News and MSNBC for just creating your own echo chamber. I don't know how to.
It's exhausting.
I don't know how to post. This is where I'm like old guy. I have all these accounts, but I don't like use an aggregator to post to all of them.
Mhm.
So if I have one thing, I'm not going to send it to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X and Blue Sky all at the same time.
I hate how much I'm on social media as it is.
You have to market that way.
Especially now being, into tattooing. And I have to I know everybody else is there. Now I have to play the game of be on there and show my shit all the time. And it's exhausting. I don't want another social platform. I'm not going to be one of those guys who's dancing on TikTok for you to come in. Like, I'm not that. Or
have you
Blue
tried
Sky
anything
or
with a
whatever
hula
it
hoop?
is. No.
So this is a company that's been around for a few years, though.
Blue Sky.
Because there's a Blue Sky office in Noblesville. Is it the same company?
I don't know.
I highly doubt it.
I don't know. I thought it was a butterfly. It looks like a Twitter alternative.
I don't even
Like,
know what it looks like. I'm going to look it up.
yeah, they literally were started by Twitter. They use the blue and white color scheme. When you use the app, it feels like Twitter.
It looks like a butterfly to me.
And it looks like a butterfly. It probably is a butterfly.
It isn't.
But I literally, when I put the notes together, I'm like, this is the butterfly app. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
Blue
Twitter.
Sky is what it's called. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to lead us
it
into
looks
the next
exactly like
path.
Twitter.
So one thing
Yeah.
that I find super lazy though about the takeover of Twitter is that I have the Twitter app on my phone, and it's still called Twitter.
Because they have brand identity.
No, I got
Twitter
X.
/X.
Mine says X.
Mine still says Twitter with the bird.
Oh, that's because you got that terrible non-Apple phone.
I have a Droid phone,
Terrible.
and mine is X.
Mine never updated.
Have you ever let your phone update, Zach? Or are you running like Twitter version 7?
Mine's on auto update. Like all my apps are on auto update. I turn that stuff. I don't want to mess with that stuff, so I just let it do it in the background. I'll see how many it's got going on. But yeah, it's like,
Bones is scrolling his Twitter, and there's a
I-
lot of
I-
people in bikinis. I don't know.
I don't know if I've ever seen like a
Oh, what was it?
I don't. I'm just making shit
Oh,
up. Man.
yeah, just throw me right underneath that bus.
It's horses and bourbon is what I
Yeah.
see.
Yep. Oh, we got Colts in North Carolina.
the fact that people still call it, they just call it Twitter /X is hilarious to me. It's just like,
So this story, I heard it over the weekend, and I really couldn't. I had to stop and like take it in. A 41-year-old mother of 4 from Georgia was arrested in October when her 10-year-old walked a mile from their house to Dollar General. She lives in a town with 300 and some people, and the kid walked to Dollar General. And the police arrested her for essentially child endangerment. Mineral Bluff, Georgia, 370 people. Girl's name is Brittany Patterson. She's the lady. She's my age. She's not a girl. Brittany Patterson said, "I don't understand why there's been such an uproar over it." The deputy told Patterson that it's illegal for a 10-year-old to walk into town. Her attorney claims that it's not, and says, "I'll be the parent here. You're not." The local police said that if you put a GPS tracker on your kid's phone, then it's fine, but you don't know where your child is. So they're threatening her with it's like a $10,000 fine and a year in jail.
So glad I grew up in the 90s.
No shit.
Dude, I used to ride my
Walked
bike
a,
at 10
walked
years
a
old,
mile.
like,
Yeah.
miles away. Like middle of nowhere.
I was
Probably shouldn't have, looking
7,
back,
8 years
but-
old running around our little town in New York State. It was all
Yeah.
over the damn
But we-
place.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was
walked
all
up-
over Rushville on a bike.
we one time got on our bikes and rode out by Mount Lawn, which is
6
5
miles,
miles
out of town.
Oh yeah. Same.
And I called from my aunt. Got to my aunt's house. She lives out there, and I called my mom and said, "Hey, this is where we're at."
No cell
And
phone.
she's like, "Okay," and then
Yeah.
we just rode back.
Be careful.
yeah.
During the summertime, like
Mhm.
my parents had a job, they couldn't account for us, so we were just kind of on our own.
Yeah.
Especially once we got to be like, I think by the time that we were 10 or 11, Like we might go to a babysitter like once or twice a week, but for the most part, we just kind of checked in. Like my mom would stop by on her lunch break, and like you guys, or somebody would stop by and like, you guys alive? Yeah, okay.
Mom and dad would hire high school kids. So that just turned into a big high school party at our house all day.
Making sure you were safe.
Yeah.
But my son a couple of weeks ago skipped an after school activity and walked home, which is about a mile. And we didn't know he was doing it until he showed up at our door. He
Walked home from the middle school.
Walked home from the middle school. It was about a mile. So like
That would take him an hour and a half.
it took him like 40 minutes. I think, dude, you walked so slow. Should have a 4:11. We thought he got out early and walked home. He was like, I just didn't go. I'm like, you got out of school 40 minutes ago, man. You walked a mile.
You know me,
no rush.
You know me, I'm lazy.
Yeah, you know me, I'm lazy. That's
my favorite quote from his son ever.
Quote from my son. But like, was that an arrestable offense that we didn't know where it was, or like did the school gotten? I don't know. It's just like, especially it's even more bizarre in a town of 300 and some people. If this kid walked a mile through New York City and showed up somewhere else, that's one thing. But in a town of 350, they made
Kid would have a subway card.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
I know.
I mean, talk about.
I'm sure the kids in New York City do it all the time. Still.
I bet they do that. Well, okay, comparable or not? Like, yeah, talk about growing up in the 90s. I went on a field trip in the 90s to Europe, a school field trip, like entitled Life. And on the last day, we were in London, English-speaking country. They took us all to the subway station, bought us a one-day ticket, and they turned us loose in a city in a foreign country for like 6 hours. Just said, hey, be back at this spot.
Don't do anything dumb.
Don't do anything dumb. And they just turned us loose.
These two, there's a
This never
GoFundMe.
happened.
This kid walked to the Dollar General. Like, first of all, he probably walked to the Farmers General. Like, everybody is within a mile. He seemed like that'd be a good place to go. Like,
It's rural Georgia. It was there's probably only 7 in their county.
So a cop just stopped, pulled the kid over, or is that all it was?
Yeah, when they
And he's
arrested
just
the
wanting to
mom.
make it.
They
make it-
arrested the mom.
they took
Make a
him.
big deal
I
about
guess
it?
they took him home, and mom was like, "Oh, thanks." And then they came back later and arrested her, like later that day.
So she's suing for parental rights, and has raised $58,000 on GoFundMe so far. About almost 2,000 donors have kicked in. There's a picture of the two of them. Bones, I would say that they look like they're right off the cover of, or right out of a commercial.
Southern Living magazine.
They do.
If they come home, if the cop shows up at her house and she's drunk, or she's passed out on a couch with a needle sticking out of her arm, yes, you arrest her.
Yeah.
But if she's just, I think it said
She's got
like,
4 kids, and this one walked to Dollar
well,
General.
I think the story might even said that she had taken one of the other kids to a doctor's appointment or something.
Why is she suing for parental rights for?
to defend herself.
Yeah, to defend her.
She's suing to defend.
She's
her parental
countersuing
rights.
to legally defeat the precedent that she could be arrested for not knowing that her kid had walked to the Dollar General. My 8-year-old
I see
stole
no
money on my
I'm
wallet.
starting to
one
think
day
there
and
might
walked
be
to the
more to
Dollar
this story with the way they look.
So I'm.
Wait, is that her?
Yeah, there's a different photograph
That's a better
that
picture.
MSNB used that looks more like somebody who's just been arrested and is pissed off about being arrested.
Yeah.
I look at it and I think we have a justice system for a reason, right? And obviously she's chosen the path of, I'm going to create uproar and I'm going to have an attorney that's going to make this a story and knows how to work the media so that people like us talk about it. But you can get arrested for anything. The next step is that a prosecutor's office actually has to file charges. Just because you get arrested for something doesn't mean that you actually face charges. And if you do face charges, then you can plea or you can go to trial. And if you go to trial, then what are the chances? I don't know how many people sit on a jury in Georgia, but 8 people or 12 people, whatever it is, a jury of your peers. Are you going to find one person that says this is bullshit? We are not convicting this lady of this. This is stupid. I feel like that she has a very valid point here. And I don't know that this is the way we want to live society. Society, to me, shouldn't be, you can't let your 10-year-old out of your house. It's insane to me.
Yeah, this story's got insanity written all over it.
Or like I said, I think if I read she was at a doctor, like what's she supposed to do? Like either take all 4 kids with her every time she runs an errand, which gets really old really fast.
Was she charged, though? Is my question. Was she charged? Or did you just arrested?
Arrested for, so I'm not sure if they had. So I guess that means there's just been a warrant issued necessarily, but the prosecutor hasn't necessarily. I don't know what the system is and what order that works in. But like, What the insinuation is you have to lock your kids in the house in a way they can't get out, which is like dangerous.
There's a story from Fox News indicating that she has been charged. Also, Fox blurred out the kid's face, even though on the GoFundMe
It's all
that
over.
they published that the kid's face is out there. Fannin County Sheriff's Department. Patterson had taken another son to a doctor's appointment when she left her son Soren, now 11, alone at the home in the rural town of Mineral Bluff. After someone reported Soren's wandering, deputies located him and drove him home. She says it's not a
mugshot.
There's another mugshot. This woman has been photographed multiple times. She was arrested. Body cam footage showed that she was being told that she was under arrest for reckless endangerment of the child. And she protested and said, "How is this reckless endangerment?" And then she got cuffed. She said, "We're not talking." The cops told her basically, "You're not getting talked about. We're not talking about it." Patterson and a lawyer said that authorities offered to drop the charges if she signed up for a safety plan that included a GPS tracker on her son's phone. The mom said she refused to sign the plan and is fighting the charges.
He had a phone.
Yeah. Which at 10,
that makes it even like a dumber thing. He could have called.
So
get help.
$500 bail right now, and she's been released.
There's
2 years
communication
jail.
right there.
Yeah,
like, when I was doing that, there was no communication.
Yeah, well, I
Like,
did that
not
at
till I got
somebody's
to my
door.
friend's
Yeah, I did
house.
that. Cell phones were a thing.
Yeah.
You had a certain time to be home by. Just be home by that. That was it.
I don't know. Oh.
They just run around the woods. Literally.
State Representative Kyle Pierce is texting me on the show here. I complained about the. I think I did this very well, but I complained about the RV manufacturer MSRP price. I talked about this on the show last year.
Oh yeah,
and he talked about some bills that he filed today. And he's texting me back about them. So I'm like, you need to fix this. We'll see if we get that one done. That'll be our little pet issue on the show. All right. So we all agree that we want to serve on a jury in Georgia and tell them this law's bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Company trip.
Jury nullification. I wish Sean Rao was here to tell us how this is crazy. So sunset at the studio at 5:30 today. If you live in Gary, Indiana, it's at the 4 o'clock hour, which sounds horrible. But this week in Barrow, Alaska, the sun went down, and it will not come back up again until January 22nd. The look of pain on Mark's
I hate
face.
it so
Now,
much.
But does it ever get dark? Or don't they just kind of hum it along at like twilight?
No, it's dark. The sun is down and
dark.
gone.
Oh,
Yeah, they're in
nice.
darkness. They are in northern Alaska.
Guess it's during the summer that it just
It's
gets
just
like
daylight the entire time.
yeah.
It's the opposite. It probably balance out to about the same amount of sunlight as we get here. But
What
they
are those
take it in
people
different
like?
chunks.
That's what I would like to know.
I think this is the town where they all live in the same building in Alaska.
I think
The
I've
whole
seen
damn,
that.
the whole place
Yeah.
is one town. The whole
Yeah.
town is
There's a
in one
Dollar
building.
General across the street.
And then and then they send their 10-year-old out across the street. Maybe
there might be two.
maybe here's a headlamp glare.
Figure
Good
it
luck.
a lamp and a shovel.
out. Cops just waiting at the midpoint.
Yep. Got him.
Nobody escapes. Go back to your
It'd
apartment.
be funny if it was a big building and every corner was a Dollar General right across the street. Just $4
There's
Generals.
a Dollar General on every floor of the
Just
goddamn building.
Building's just lit up in yellow sign.
Dollar General, pawn shop, check cashing, tattoo parlor. Really easy for the EPS guy, though, honestly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even need a coat.
You want it.
I would have to leave that place. That sounds like hell.
I think people are trying to get out of Rushville.
Oh, I did. Never went. I only went there for school.
They
At that
dream.
place.
You're born in Barrow, Alaska. You go, maybe someday I could be a Rushville Lion.
Baby.
So how do you guys do? This is the part of it. I've got one of those day jobs. At least that during my day job, I'm not trapped in the office the entire time. So my Monday to Friday is not going to the same office every single day. But I did suffer that fate for a long time. Zach, you've got a little hybrid flexibility where you're not in the office every single day. But when you got the Monday to Friday chained to your desk, what the hell are you supposed to do? You're like, it's.
Oh, I hated it.
You get 2 days that
Hated
you
it.
can maybe go outside and see the sun.
Yep.
And that's tough. Like this is until we get back to daylight saving time in March. This next 100 days is just like you got to find a way to do something.
Well, the sun's probably up when you're going to work.
I'm not at home for it.
No, yeah.
No,
It's not
no,
productive time
it's
to be
not.
at home.
I get to
It's
work
not.
at 7, and right now
Congrats on your 10 minutes.
it's
you
it's
got to
like
see.
I'm seeing the very beginning of sunset or sunrise right now, but it'll be gone here in a couple weeks, and it won't come back for like another.
It's giving me PTSD.
Just when I got full daylight, when I would show up to work, is kind of when they take it away for daylight saving time.
But in honesty, when it's dark out and like this time of the year, it's cold. You don't want to be outside anyways.
I run every day though.
I
It
understand
really sucks
you're
to get out to do
weird.
that. Yeah.
But most of these people don't want to be outside.
Yeah.
If it's 45 degrees, I'll go outside.
Yeah,
and do
45.
something.
I understand 45, but
I mean, it was
Here's-
60. It was 68 degrees on Monday or Tuesday of this week.
here
But
soon it's
dark
going to
at
be
5.
Here soon it's going to be 20.
It's supposed to snow tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're
Milk and bread
going to go
tonight.
from
We had to move the
68 to accumulating
3 inches
snow
of snow
in 48
on
hours.
Thursday. We had to move the show early because the snow plows.
Yeah. Someone had to make sure that they get bread and milk off the shelves.
Could be the blizzard of 24 heading this way. I pray that the one day we get a blizzard bigger than 1978, so we can just bitch about
Shut
it
'em
for
down.
the rest of time. For the rest of time, I don't know. The way I cope with it is I I guess I work from home, or I do travel for the day job, and that helps a little bit. But I'm looking for vacations. I'm looking for getaways. I'm trying to do whatever I can to maximize that little bit of time I get. I'm going to spend my first weekend at home, and like I don't even know how long this weekend, and I'm immediately going to go to Indianapolis for Saturday. I go, but I haven't.
So you're not going to be home at all.
I'll be home Sunday, mostly.
Ish.
Yeah, maybe, unless I find something better to do.
I hate
Muncie.
daylight savings.
God, no. You realize that the daylight saving we do now is the natural time we were always on.
Yeah,
The
Riddle
daylight-
always reminds me because we
I think
converse
it's the
back and forth
sudden.
about how
I
much
think
I
it's the
hate it.
sudden snatching away the evening.
this
light
this
that
this
takes
I don't,
horrible
I don't
time
care
right
what
now
it is. Like,
is what we lived with 12 months out of the year. Now we've got 9 months of it being better.
yeah.
But this is like this 3 months is a reminder of like, why the hell are we doing this?
I know I can't have it both, but like I just seriously hate how dark it is for how long it is. It drives me nuts. Like no sunlight.
I don't think it's better in the summer.
I think it is.
I think
Because
it's
I'm a morning
9:30 and
person.
still
I
being
really,
light
it's a
same.
bummer to be
I love
not.
that 8:30 p.m. sun's blasting. Love it. I can't stand like 4:30 and like you see the sun. It's just like it'll be down real soon. I can't.
It's worse in Chicago. Like that's the part of it's like we live on the western side of the time zone.
Yeah.
Where it's actually better for us than it is most places. Like if you live in Maine, if you live like it is horrific.
Remove like the time change out of it, but it's like you still get
What time does the sun set in LA? Like
Eternal
4:30,
darkness.
right?
Sunset today at Bar Harbor, Maine was 4:00 today.
Ah,
The sun went
yeah.
down at 4:00 p.m. in Bar Harbor.
the sunrise.
You can't get. That means kids aren't even getting home from school before the sun
Mm-mm.
goes down. Probably.
Sunset
Yeah,
went
back
down
to the
today
point
in
of
LA
like going into work when
4:46.
it's dark, coming home when it's dark.
4:00. We at 5:30. We had an hour and a half. It's luxurious for us compared to them. Is they're in the same time zone as us? It's like 20 hours by car to get there, but it's the same time zone.
That'd be rough.
4 p.m. Who signs up for that and says this is okay? This is what I want. It's fast time all the time, man. If somebody doesn't want that, I think they're just a loon. Like I that's crazy. It could be at least 5:00 and dark there today, and
Yeah.
not 4:00, and it would be 6:30 here, and you'd have half an hour or an hour. The 9 to 5 people, the 8 to 5 people would have at least an hour of time to go outside and pretend to cut your grass. My grass needs one more cutting, and I'm gonna have to do it on a Sunday.
No, I did mine a couple weeks ago, and I cut it down pretty low. I'm still hoping for the leaves to blow into the neighbors.
Because I tell you what, delivering at night when it's dark out is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
People's houses are not well lit. Like numbers you can't
They don't
see.
have their house numbers.
Yeah, it gets a little sketchy at night.
If I don't run with the cross country kids, I run in the morning, and people are like, it's dark in the morning. Yeah, it's dark in the afternoon too, but there's less cars out at 6
It's
a.m.
always
than there are
dark.
at 5:30 or 6.
4:27 p.m. Seattle sunset today.
That's nice.
It's terrible. Yeah, sadly, Indianapolis is the happiest place to live if we want this. If you want sunshine, live in Terre Haute, I guess.
We're sitting
Brazil,
here
Indiana.
We're
bitching about how bad we have it.
Yeah.
And we got an hour and a half better than them. Just a moment of silence for those people, I guess. I don't know what to do.
Let's all
I
nod.
don't know how to help them. Move to Indiana.
Can't.
Can't fix it. We can't change where we are in the solar system, right?
No.
We could launch a rocket. That'll be Space Force. We're gonna launch a rocket. We're gonna try to propel the northern hemisphere south and extend summertime. That
sounds like a great movie.
Yeah, we're living idiocracy.
Oh yeah, it's a documentary.
If you want, you guys remember in Idiocracy, all of the cabinet officials where they're just wearing their big
I've never
tokens.
seen it.
You need Zach.
I know. I've been told.
Oh
The second
my
week
God.
in a row because I've never seen Plane, Trains, and Automobiles either. I've heard about it. My brother's seen it. He's like, dude. I mean, everybody's
It's
kind of mentioned it.
bad.
Yeah.
And it was a joke. It's not now. So
Vince
in
McMahon's wife.
Idiocracy, they that there's a president of the United States. It's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Terry Crews. He's the president, but he's got all of these absolute morons that are in his cabinet. We are one step away from that. Right now, it's just if you had a cable TV show, you get to be in the cabinet. This wasn't in the notes, but Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz. Good
Dr.
God.
Dr. Oz is going to be. He's a surgeon, but he's been hired to be appointed to be the HHS secretary. There's a former congressman named Sean something who has I think he's a Fox News weekend guy as well, much like the future Secretary of Defense was. But he was also on Road Rules and I'm not kidding.
All I know is I keep seeing I'm I say this before. I don't really watch the news. I don't have time to my kids kind of control the TV or whatever. They're watching Paw Patrol and I left earlier. But I see these on online. I saw Dr. Oz. You've got to be kidding me! Because if there was a cabinet position for mental health, it would be oh great, we're going to bring out Dr. Phil now, and it's just rolling out these people, or oh my gosh, and because he's kind of come out with some pretty controversial opinions about things that are kind of and I think there's question as to how long it's been since he's actually practiced medicine too. He's obviously got the knowledge. I saw he's a something emeritus from Columbia, so
yes,
he's well thought of. Was at one point.
Sean Duffy is the appointee to replace Pete Buttigieg, the Secretary of Transportation. He was a congressman from Wisconsin. When he was 25 in 1997, he was on The Real World Boston. At the time, he was a 25-year-old aspiring lawyer. They called him a true lumberjack, Midwestern boy from an Irish Catholic family. And then that led him to going on to Road Rules All-Stars as well. So he had a whole damn career of reality TV in the 90s.
He's just on the MTV payroll for a decade.
Yep. And then he's now he's a Fox News contributor as well. Basically, I swear to God, this guy is just watching TV. If you're on cable news, he knows who you are, especially if you're on Fox.
So there's a Venn diagram of cable news hosts and then contributors to the Donald Trump campaign. And in the middle is the cabinet. Because some of these people contributed to his campaign, which is probably why they're on the radar.
Linda McMahon was his Secretary of Labor, and she's going to be the Secretary of Education. She was Vince McMahon's wife. She was she ran for Senate twice.
Wrestling.
And she was an executive with the WWE. She's one of the more favorable picks that he's made. She did the job well the first time.
So there's going to be a member of the cabinet whose son-in-law is or was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, because he's married. Wasn't he married to Vince McMahon's daughter? Probably. It just gets better and better. Maybe they'll start announcing him during Monday Night Raw.
Zach, I'm going to need you to watch Idiocracy before Tuesday.
It's going to be really depressing. Maybe in 4 years after we've gotten through this.
I think it's just a preview. You need to watch it so that you can realize.
I just wish he would do a series like instead of a second movie. Like it would be great.
Just a TV show.
It would be
It's
great.
just it could be like Law and Order too. At this point, it could just be loosely based off recent events. Like Law and Order would be like, this is based off,
Ripped from the
I mean,
headline.
from the
South Park's around
headline.
forever. Idiocracy could definitely be a
and it could
series.
do that right now.
Bones, you want to talk about sports? Did you place any bets on Mike Tyson?
I did not even watch fight.
You didn't. I didn't either.
We
I tried.
tried.
I don't think
We tried.
anyone did.
I efforted it.
I figured out the trick.
It was on Netflix.
Yeah.
It was
And
a trick.
You had to
I watched
have
on
a
my
Pirates
phone.
bet.
She was
No.
watching it on her phone too. I was like, I can't watch this.
I,
all
so I
night.
had, I had on
phone.
I don't know how boxing works. That's probably, it's the first boxing match I've ever watched, I think. And so I don't know how it worked, like the order. I figure it was like it's going to be last forever, but I pop on Netflix or something else, like, oh, this is coming on at 8:00. So I turn on. So I didn't like watch it, but I had the stream, like, small screen it on your phone and do other stuff. I was just keep watching it. And it did okay for a couple hours. For anybody that didn't know, the fight came on 4 hours and 5 minutes into the broadcast.
Oh yeah,
The broadcast started at 8. They did not fight until a little bit after midnight.
yeah.
And I've tried to, when my kids went to bed, try to put on the big TV. That did not work almost immediately. I think I saw Christy Avery posting a chat about it wasn't working. I'm like, I've got it working so far. But it would start to play, and then we get about 20 seconds in, and then the picture would freeze, but the closed captioning would keep going. And I was like, okay, this is great. And after a while, I just gave up. I'm like, maybe if I do it on my phone, it's lower bandwidth, and it'll work. And it worked on my phone.
I found that Netflix does not do well with lower quality internet connections. YouTube has it figured out. YouTube seems to be able to start a video stream with damn near a dial-up connection. YouTube TV. But Netflix, like them and Peacock, just require like a gigantic pipe of fast, high quality internet.
They can't very
and they can't make it work at lower speeds where everybody else kind of modulates. I could not get the stream to start at all on our Roku in the camper with a decent internet connection. It would not go. I couldn't even open up Netflix.
You're like your favorite park for hotspot.
I had perfect internet. I had everything I needed to have. I could watch any other app. I could not even launch Netflix on that night. I'm like, they have crushed, because apparently they had like 90 million people trying to watch this stream. Christmas Day, there's an NFL game that Netflix has the exclusive rights to.
2 NFL games.
Amazon Prime is doing it every single week, no problem at all with NFL.
I do think that they had more
tens
people
of millions of people
trying to watch that fight than will try to watch the NFL game.
probably. Did they say
I don't know.
They said 65 million people watched it worldwide. I think it was 65 million feeds, like individual streams. That's a lot. There's not 65. That's a 25% of the United States. We were trying to watch it at once. I don't think that'll happen for.
this never happened with cable.
Yeah, I really. Okay. So I was almost ashamed to have been watching it, but I really want to play this. So, what would be amazing is if you like broadcast it in a way that like people with antennas,
They would just catch it.
Could just catch the signal and not have to be dependent on how much signal is being put out.
It doesn't have to be a
And
two-way
they just
conversation.
and they just showed up on their television in such a way. And I was like, how wild would that be if you could do that? Because I was like, this isn't a problem with like rabbit ears, like over the air or cable. Yeah. This wasn't a thing.
You know what never has a problem streaming? Because there's not that many people watching it? IndyCar.
Yeah.
Never really the big problem. Stingray Rob got himself his contract this week, Zachary.
Yeah. Somebody finally took that check out of his pocket.
With Juncos Hollinger Racing. He has a sponsorship from, do you know this one, Mark?
Nope.
Jesus. Pray.com. The Pray.com Chevrolet.
Whoa. There's really a
Sponsored by
Pray.com?
Yes. Pray.com.
We're looking that up.
Friend of the show, Brad Lowry, is very, very angry because he thinks that the sponsorship is being stolen from senior citizens who think they're helping
Number
people.
one app for daily prayer and bedtime Bible stories.
Now, near the end of the year, like the back half of the year, it got taken over. Like the primary.
Mark, you used your outside voice.
Oh, sorry.
But like it got turned into like a was it an animal hospital or something?
Yes.
Picked up a chunk
also
of it at the
some
end of the year.
rich friends of his, Good Hearts or whatever.
Yeah.
A veterinarian hospital in Colorado. Also, they have puppy dog little paw prints all over the car.
Yeah.
This man is named after the Stingray Corvette. Stingray. His name is Stingray Rob. So he's back in a Chevrolet. And apparently his family has put together the sponsorship package, which is worth $1 bajillion. And Hoosier legend Connor Daly is rumored to benefit from this as well, because there's so much money spilling out of the Stingray Rob bucket that it'll spill over and potentially help pay for their other car, which Connor Daly is trying to put together. So Indiana
Connor Daly sponsored by J-Date.
Hey, what?
J-Date, the Jewish dating site.
No, I don't think no.
Okay. Or CatholicsOnly.com.
His best chance of sponsorship is diabetes.
He had Shirts for America on his car once. That was Pat McAfee's t-shirt company he invented to pay for an Indy 500 entry. So Connor, I think, has this cryptocurrency last year. Connor does a really good job of finding people that have invented money or a new crypto version of money. Yeah. And we'll get a check to clear for a year or two.
Yeah.
So he has Polkadot.
Yeah, creating the appearance of money.
And that paid for some racing last year. I don't know if it will yet or this year or not. I don't know. People get upset. This is the funny thing to me is that people, folks are upset about this sponsor. They're upset over whatever. Almost everything in motorsports is some weird fictitious thing that you can't really understand. It's not a lot of times where it's Miller Beer or Verizon on the side of a race car. It's all things that don't make sense to the consumer.
Yeah.
It's not like back in the day when Dale Jarrett drove the UPS Ford.
Or Penske had the Marlboro cars.
You know what has brought that logo back to life?
Is the Indiana
Kurt Signetti.
Yeah.
Are you aware of this one?
No.
So while you're over there Googling, the Marlboro there, it's the triangle. What's that called?
Chevron.
The Chevron. The Marlboro Chevron. People have taken. So the guy's name is Signetti, like cigarettes. So they took the Marlboro font and they have Signetti.
That's awesome.
With the font with that, and it has gone all over the place.
That's awesome.
It's gone very well.
Extension this week too.
I am a fan of the Marlboro products as far as clothing and stuff, because I can remember back
as a
in
kid,
grade school.
Were you a Marlboro Miles family?
Oh yeah,
the Marlboro.
I got
the Marlboro
sent to
lunchbox.
school a couple times, gym bag with a Marlboro gym bag, and now I wish I still had all that stuff.
My father smoked
to collect it
really
all.
hard so that he could have his Marlboro jacket.
Yeah,
early
it's
90s.
Very hypocritical. It took my dad out, but I'm still trying to rep and get those Marlboro points. Like, I want the stuff.
Yeah, the Marlboro Miles. It was like the Subway card and the Marlboro points. Yeah.
I forgot about the Subway card.
Oh, yeah. Now, I don't want to brag, but I filled my Jack's Donuts card up today.
Nice.
I got
my cup of coffee.
Big day
it's
for
a
you.
dozen donuts.
Oh, real big day.
Where are they at?
I have the card. Haven't cashed it in yet. Might do it Saturday morning. I don't know if Zach can eat. Can you do a 5K and then eat 3 or 4 donuts?
I won't eat 3 or 4 donuts after I can't eat a donut after a 5K. I won't eat one before.
I mean, if I get a dozen, they got to go somewhere.
Yeah. Drop 2 off to my kids. I don't need all that.
We'll see what happens. So that's the big IndyCar news. And then some Formula One driver race to race car this week in California at Thermal.
I'm curious to see who drove what in that.
Logan.
I don't know if Verstappen got in an Indy car.
Max Verstappen has allegedly got in a Honda Acura GTP car. But I was talking about the thermal test with
Sargent.
Logan Sargent got to race in an Indy car. Colts beat the Jets, Bones.
Yep, by 1.
Our kicker kicked like a 56-yarder, and I thought there's no way in hell he can do it. He's not done this for years, and he was making all his field goals. Colts looked okay against a terrible team that has already fired their coach, who won by 1 point. We now have to go play Christy Avery's Detroit Lions this week. How many points do the Colts are the Colts? What's a moral victory here? Because I feel like it's like an 11-point number right now for the Lions, and I feel like it could be 21. I feel like you could put $100 on the Lions. There's no way the Colts get close to the number.
Smart money. But this is not smart money, but hold on. Here's my brain thought. Colts play one good game a year, and it gives everybody hope. Like a couple years ago, we beat the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
We beat the Ravens last
the Baltimore,
year.
yeah.
I bet we beat I would say we beat the Lions. And we all have hope. And then 2 weeks later, we're back shitting the bed.
We beat the Steelers. We already beat the Steelers this year.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We've used it.
We blew the load already.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's
All
over.
right.
The Colts beat the Steelers because I was texting our good friend of the show, Joey Molinaro, and
We lose by 30.
he was pretty bitter. The Colts beat the Steelers 27-24.
Okay. That's right. They did.
Yeah. I don't see
Yeah.
any way in hell.
30.
Yeah. I think we hammer the Lions, bet for them. They were my Super Bowl pick.
Over's 50.
The game is Indianapolis.
We're at 7.5 now.
7.5
and 50.
I think you bet Detroit hard. But do you have any thoughts on football? Does this come up in the shop?
Oh, definitely not in the shop. It comes up in our house more than anything.
Yeah. Well, you're Chiefs. You're a Chiefs nation now.
Yeah, girlfriend's very much into it. And I did watch, I guess I should say I was more so in the room when the Colts beat the Jets by 1. I don't even remember what actually happened, but I just remember that's what happened.
That was the end result.
I've tried to come around. I'll be sitting on the couch watching them, just asking questions that everybody knows the answers to. I'm like, why are they doing this? Why that? Blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to come around, but I'm like,
Your effort.
it's just face value to me. I'm just like, okay, I'll watch it if I'm around.
Do you know who a good team is and who a bad team is? Or is it just like, it's all just laundry and random shit to you?
Could you? I don't even really know how to answer that question. I can converse a little bit between,
But it's like, all right, so this week Colts play the Lions.
all right. So if I'm gonna pick a team to win, I'm gonna guess the Lions because I seen one game that I actually watched this year, and I think it was the Lions and what was it, Cowboys?
Yeah,
and it was just a bloodbath, and there was just no mercy given to them, and I'm like, this is great. Like, this is content for me, and everybody else is like, no, this is boring. I'm like, no, it's not. They're like stomping them, and they're not letting up the
You want to
boot.
see the
And
absolute
I love
kill.
to see that. Yeah.
But if
That was
I tell
great.
you next week the Colts go to New England and play the Patriots, do you have any idea if the Patriots are any good relative to the Colts?
Back
or
in
what
the
to
day, I
expect?
knew that they were good, and I
Right.
knew that they're like rivals against the Colts.
Right. But this year, no clue.
I have no clue. Not
And
at
the
all.
following week, the Colts play the Broncos. No, don't know. Like, it's all just
Mm-mm.
lottery.
I mean,
whatever
I
to
can
you.
kind of like give a feel. Like, a girlfriend watches the Chiefs every chance she gets, so I'm like, if I'm around, I'm going to watch it too.
Right.
But I'm like, they always win. They always do. But they didn't win this last time.
They lost to Buffalo.
But I did. I started to watch that too
Cheered.
because I got a buddy that lives in Kansas, so he's into it too, and it gives me a reason to like kind of converse and get into it a little bit instead of just like writing it off like I always have. So I'm trying to come
You
around.
do any
to it.
NFL tattoos? Are you allowed to admit that you did? If you do,
I haven't done any, but
No
I did do a
logos.
racing tattoo. Whoever that guy
You
was,
did. You
that
did a Corey
52
LaJoy.
or something. Yeah,
51.
51. Yeah,
So that guy had all of that guy's racing numbers tattooed on him.
one or two more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it. He'll message me every now and then about it. I'm like, I don't know. He got a bumper from him the other day. The actual driver has seen his tattoo, and I'm like, so that's
I have a
kinda
picture with
cool.
that driver.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I posted it in when you had the
Maybe,
post. That
yeah.
dude and I, he invited me to some Facebook group, and Corey LaJoy.
Yeah.
But that guy is such a diehard for that driver. The guy got traded essentially. It doesn't happen very much in motorsports, but he got traded or shuffled. The team just said, "Yeah, you take my driver, I'll take yours. It'll give us a spark." He's going to do like 10 starts in that car. He's done already. Like, that 51 is in the past. He's probably not coming back to that ride again.
The one I just did.
The one you just did.
There wasn't like 7 before that or something.
Yeah, he was in the 7 car.
I'm like, what are you going to do? Just have like a bunch of
Just have
numbers going
just
in your arm?
Just a chain of them.
Whatever.
The man is a journeyman. Like, in
Mm,
the NFL, there are some quarterbacks that have played for 10, 15 teams.
yeah.
That's who this guy is. He's the
Matt Fitzpatrick.
Joe Flacco.
not Joe. I would say
Flacco's
He's turned
the Ryan Fitzpatrick is the
Ryan,
perfect
not
example. Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think, has played for like 18 NFL teams
Yes.
in his career. That's pretty much what this guy is he's going to have driven for everybody. The Takuma Sato of the IndyCar world, where you've driven for every single Honda team.
That's the high.
Or the Connor Daly,
yeah.
who's driven for everybody but Chip Ganassi and Roger Penske. Man, I wouldn't be shocked I wouldn't be shocked if there was a single start in an Indy 500 for Connor and a Ganassi car at some point too. Just for fun. So anyway, yeah. And then the last NFL news I had, Chase Payton, his team lost in a horrible and sad way the Bears were going to win for the first time in 6 years against the Packers. They play them twice a year, 2 opportunities each and every year to play the Packers. They were down by 1 point. They had a chip shot field goal to make. Kicker kicked it last second. It got blocked at the line. Bears lost. They go 11 straight losses to that team.
Blocking a kick takes a lot of effort.
That never happens.
Yeah.
It's like
It never happens.
because it has to be like. I feel like to happen, it has to be a combination of like either a slow snap or a slow kick, and then the most athletic dude on the other team getting the greatest jump and getting like significant air.
Allegedly, this particular kicker has a low trajectory.
Oh, that'll make it easier.
which is problematic for that. Only in Chicago. You'd think you'd want a kicker that can kick real high when you kick outside by Lake Michigan in November and December, but no, they got a guy that kicks
Let's
right.
kick it into the wind.
Yeah, I bet with
it
the wind
straight
though,
into
a low
somebody's hands.
trajectory is actually better. It's just you
Yeah.
got to make sure there's not some like 6'9", like there's not some or NBA guy that's on the special teams that's got long arms.
Some tall guy like Bones.
Yeah, Abe Lincoln run you down the other side.
Abe Lincoln should play for Chicago, not for Wisconsin. All right, Zach Burcham, final thoughts?
No.
Did you do the big Christmas parade?
Yes, we went to the Christmas parade.
Christmas
Wow.
parade, Newcastle's Christmas parade before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and
Christmas creep is real, folks.
Rushville does the same
it
thing.
definitely felt like a creep this year because it's normally the week before Thanksgiving. So normally it would have been this weekend, but I guess it's the third Thursday. Thanksgiving's so late this year.
Why the hell did we light our Christmas tree the same time as Veterans Day?
No, I think that the Christmas tree lighting could have waited. I'll be honest. Why is the Christmas tree lighting not Black Friday? That's what a lot of other people do. I don't
know if the Indians
because
like
it was
to
the
say
Friday
Black
before
Friday.
the parade. The parade was nice. It took like 30 minutes or so.
It's been Christmas since Halloween in our house.
Oh, there are a lot of trees. I put my outdoor stuff up Sunday. Did not plug it in. Like the garland's up, the lights are up. I haven't run all the wires I need to run because it was 68 degrees on Sunday,
Yeah.
and you could get all done without freezing and without all the cords.
I'm not that motivated. Here's my thing. I can put it up and it'll be really nice weather. But we talked about this darkness thing. When the hell am I going to take it down? Like it'll be mid-January and it'll be dark at 5:15. I'm not going to go out in the dark with a headlamp on and take all this crap off my house.
No, that's when you take it down like March.
I
Just
take-
don't turn it on.
That's what's
I
great.
just take mine down like on a weekend usually, and it's we put lights around our front and back porch. Those are held on with like clips. I can literally pull those down in 25 seconds. Yeah, just pull them off.
Just
Some
rip.
of the clips stay on the softening, some of them don't, whatever. And then there's garland on the fence line. I just pull it off.
I did it one time myself, meticulously, had the whole thing set up, and I was like, this looks really cool. And then I had to take it down, and I said, I'm never doing this again.
Never again.
I'm good.
Sometimes I end up having to zip tie some of the garland to the fence. Now, one thing I did, we had so many lights that were half off that were broken that I just went to Walmart and just replaced them all. And I did figure out that I upgraded to LEDs for everything because a lot of our stuff is still incandescent. And a couple of the strings, like, oh, you can hook up to 15 of these together, but they got you.
They have to match.
The other end of the cord is not a female cord.
Mm-hmm.
It's this special plug that you unscrew, and if you've ever had like rope light where it's like a 2-prong round plug that has like the one flat side, it's like that but a smaller version of that, so you can only string together their lights.
Proprietary.
Yes, because then on the other end you actually unscrew and take off the plug, and there's like a control box. These lights have different functions, very premium, and that controls the whole string. But yeah, I was like, ooh, they got me. Like I'm stuck with these, but hopefully they don't go out like in a year.
First, one bulb goes out, the whole damn thing goes out.
These I don't think are wired like that, but because that was the first thing. It's
Showing
like,
your age.
I would turn on some string. I know. Well,
I'm
I
just
still,
quoting
I'll tell you what I
the Clark
still.
Griswold movie, sir.
I'll tell you what I still do
You
though.
gotta
It's
check
like
each and every bulb.
you plug them
Fuck,
in,
that's real nice.
and like a third of the string would be out. And I
went
still
the
just
other way. I
take
just
them,
bought an RV.
and like I still like shake them and like whip the
Shitter's
lights
full.
because once in a while they just come on. So I don't know. Other than that, yeah, I forgot. I felt bad. I forgot about that, and I forgot about the parade, and then the Christmas tree lighting was Friday night. I can't think of anything. Oh, there's a 5K Saturday in Memorial Park, and it's hosted by the Believe and Achieve Mentoring. Check their Facebook page if you're local. I think the race is at like 8 or 9 o'clock, I think. If you know Facebook friends with me, I've shared the link a couple times. But
IMS elbow throwing sales coming up on Saturday.
I want to advertise that. We don't need more of those people there than
get you merch for 40 cents on the dollar.
so we can see the same 12 people that we see at every race, because we'll see the same.
It's
12.
a reunion.
Yes, I'm surprised it was the same as the table.
It's a winter reunion. Mark Fultz, thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
You want some more
That was
bourbon?
fun. Nope. Maybe maybe I'll develop a palate for it, but no.
We'll put together a rum and bourbon tasting for you over the long dark winter.
The long dark.
All right, Bones. We got one more week with you before you have to go make a living.
Are we doing the show next week?
Tuesday.
We'll see.
Tuesday. I'm working on some fun guests. Betsy Mills is joining us next week.
It depends how your attitude is.
The legendary Betsy Mills. Maybe Chase Payton. Maybe Travis Isaacs. We're going to talk about our fantasy league and Patreon. I know that much. And then after that, we'll see. What happens.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the commitment. If we don't see you,
Then we'll see me maybe in
we'll see.
2025.
We'll see you next year.
I don't know. Contract's up, and then we'll see what happens. Negotiations. I'm holding out.
You want Zach's pay? You'd rather drive a lot further out. Since you started doing the show, you've had your headlights go out in your car constantly.
Not anymore.
Do we need to gift you some new headlights for the year?
Ooh. Yeah, every time I show up, I get a set of headlights.
A new set of headlights.
Yep.
One light, two light bulbs from AutoZone. Tell us what your bulb number is.
Yeah, I lost it. I lost that one.
9005, 9006,
You are broken.
H1, H2.
Is that for the 92 Dakota HD or the
Tahoe's 9005s and 6s, depending on high beams or low beams.
Your autism is showing, sir.
I just bought some like 2 weeks ago.
So did I. I don't remember the number, but
Well, because I got them and I had to take them back.
I only have one car, not 30.
Yeah.
Zach's
Yeah.
cars cumulatively have gone around the world how many times?
Oh, a lot.
There's like 1 million miles.
40. I got a
between
million miles between them. There's one that's got almost
Jesus.
400,000. So it's the overachiever, but I've got 382 or 383, 238, 227, and the Dakota is unknown, but it's well over 200, probably 220.
Miles unknown.
miles unknown, weld quality unknown.
The odometer stopped working.
Carfax unknown.
Yeah.
It just says completed.
When we have maybe next week, I want you. Could you just go to a? Could you
Kelly Blue Book?
No. I want you to go to CarMax and put each of the 4
Yes.
vehicles in and get your offer for each of the 4
The
vehicles.
most interesting one.
Because I want your buy it now for each of the 4 because I think
It'd be
the
like-
excursion will be the one that'll be a crazy to see what they do.
Yeah, because that's the one that defies, on some level, it defies normal depreciation, and that's not a me claiming thing. That is
It's if it had 150,000 miles on it, it's a $40,000 vehicle.
100%. Yeah, and no rust, whatever. But like, and then the rest of them will be like.
But the Dakota, I want to see if they will offer you $100 for it. I want to know what
it'd be easily sub 1,000, well under.
because the doors may have it totaled. I don't know.
Yeah, probably would. And then the Mazda might be a couple $1,000s. The Tahoe probably less. So I get the dumb letters from the dealership all the time. Like, we want your Mazda. We want your Mazda. Like, no, you don't.
I'll sign off the show like this week. I sent in, just for fun during COVID, I did like the CarMax send me a thing on my Tahoe just to see what it was worth. And they continue to update it and just let me know it's worth less and less and less money now. Like they just keep sending, hey, your value's dropped. Thanks, assholes. I appreciate that so much.
I know how
We're at
depreciation
95
works.
now.
dickhead.
Hey, our current offer is this. We'll take it off your hands for $40. That's the way they've treated me.
There's a Bentley on Facebook Marketplace for like $25,000. It was 31. You could roll real hard in that car.
All right. We'll see you guys next Tuesday for a special Turkey Week edition. See you then.